Lewis Hamilton is done with Ferrari. Fans even thought he was crying. No positives, no real answers, just one sentence that broke fans of the driver. That was the worst race I've experienced ever. Leclerc, meanwhile, was pretty happy with another podium, Ferrari's second in a row, but Hamilton, he ended the interview early, saying he's heading home. Is the Ferrari dream already turning into a nightmare?
Lewis Hamilton lined up third on the grid for the Austrian Grand Prix with a real shot at the podium. Ferrari had brought fresh upgrades, the pace looked strong, and Hamilton was ready to attack with the same bold strategy that helped him win in Barcelona just 2 weeks earlier. But instead of standing on the podium, he crossed the line in 5th. The biggest problem wasn't Mercedes, Verstappen, the hot weather, or tire wear. It was Ferrari's own race strategy. A mistimed pit stop, a failed undercut, and a plan that looked brilliant in Barcelona completely fell apart in Spielberg. Going into Sunday, Ferrari looked like they had everything they needed to fight at the front. The team arrived with upgrades, including a new spec power unit, and the signs were encouraging from the start. Hamilton was only a 10th behind Mercedes in the final practice session, showing the car had strong speed. Leclerc even set the fastest lap in qualifying before Russell's dramatic pole grab, while Hamilton ended up just 0.295 seconds away from the front row. Even better, Ferrari seemed to hold the advantage when it came to race strategy. That confidence came from Barcelona, where Hamilton claimed his first Ferrari victory by using an aggressive 3-stop strategy at the Spanish Grand Prix. The plan had worked perfectly there, so Ferrari believed they could use that same attacking approach again in Austria. That gamble paid off in Barcelona because the virtual safety car appeared at exactly the right time, giving Hamilton what was basically a free pit stop. With that success still fresh, Ferrari and Hamilton rolled onto the Spielberg grid with a clear mission: stay aggressive, trust the strategy, and try to repeat what had already worked. On paper, it sounded like the perfect plan. The opening laps actually went pretty well. Russell made a clean getaway from pole position and stayed in control at the front. Verstappen, starting from 5th, wasted no time moving through the field. Hamilton held his position, managed his opening tires well, and looked calm and competitive. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc began slipping back from his front row starting spot as Ferrari struggled to match the pace of the Mercedes. The scorching Styrian heat made the Red Bull ring even tougher on the cars and tires. Even with those warning signs, Ferrari stuck with the aggressive strategy. That's where things started to go wrong. The Red Bull ring is well known for how powerful the undercut can be. According to Pirelli's race projections, a pit stop at Spielberg costs only about 20 seconds, which is lower than at many other tracks. That makes stopping early a tempting move if your car has enough speed to make it work. Ferrari made the first big move by bringing Hamilton into the pits early. They fitted the car with soft tires and went for an aggressive undercut, hoping to recreate the same winning formula that worked in Barcelona. The idea was simple: stop early, push hard on fresh rubber, and force Mercedes and McLaren to respond. It looked bold, but the plan quickly started showing cracks. The Austrian afternoon was brutally hot, and track temperatures kept rising as the race went on. That created a huge challenge for the C5 soft tire, Pirelli's softest compound, which wasn't built for long, demanding stints in those extreme conditions.
Because Ferrari called in Lewis early for a pit stop, they put him on the hard tires, and from there his pace was absolutely nowhere. We got a few minutes of Max versus Lewis, but Max came out on top in this, and then he was on his way to catch George. Then we got a VSC because of Carlos, and here's where the most debatable part of the race came in: Ferrari strategy. They put Lewis on soft tires, he was P3, got a cheap pit stop, but still came out P7, and then his podium was gone. He ended up finishing P5, but I don't think that it was the strategy that costed Lewis the podium.
Hamilton showed strong pace for the first few laps after the stop, but the performance faded much faster than Ferrari had hoped. According to Yahoo Sports live race coverage, Hamilton's difficult stint on the soft tires in the scorching heat seriously hurt his chances of fighting for the win. That's where Ferrari misread the situation. Barcelona had cooler conditions and a perfectly timed virtual safety car that helped make the aggressive strategy succeed. Austria offered neither advantage, yet Ferrari still followed almost the exact same playbook. Instead of adapting to the changing conditions, the team stayed committed to a plan that simply wasn't working. Then the race threw another twist into the mix when a safety car was deployed. When the safety car came out, Ferrari had a huge opportunity right in front of them. A safety car cuts down the time lost in the pit lane because the entire field is running at a slower pace. Since Hamilton had already stopped early, this was the perfect chance to make another well-timed call that could have moved him back into the fight for a podium finish. According to Motorsport Week's race report, Ferrari didn't make the most of that opportunity. The ideal pit window opened, but the team reacted too late, and by the time the call was made, the advantage had already disappeared. Instead of gaining positions, Ferrari lost a key strategic chance. It also echoed decisions that have drawn attention earlier in the 2026 season. One example came at the season-opening Australian Grand Prix, where Ferrari chose to leave both cars on track during a virtual safety car while Mercedes decided to pit. During that race, Hamilton questioned the decision over the radio, saying that at least one of them should have come in. The team stayed with its original plan, and Mercedes went on to win. In Austria, a similar issue appeared again. Ferrari's strategy team faced another high-pressure moment, but the timing of their decisions didn't deliver the result Hamilton needed. Ferrari's biggest problem doesn't always seem to be speed. It often comes down to decision-making under pressure. Instead of acting quickly, the team has at times appeared to wait for extra confirmation before making a move. By the time the pit call arrives, the best opportunity can already be gone. That's why many observers have pointed to strategy as a recurring weakness. And in Austria, those missed moments played a big part in Hamilton falling short of the podium. Hamilton has more experience than almost anyone on the Formula One grid. With 7 world championships and more than 100 Grand Prix victories, he's worked through countless strategy battles during his career. He understands what a strong pit call looks like, and he can usually tell when a race is slipping away because of timing. While not all of Hamilton's team radio from the Austrian Grand Prix was immediately available after the race, the events on track followed a pattern that has been discussed several times this season. Earlier in the year at the Australian Grand Prix, Hamilton questioned Ferrari's strategy over the radio after the team decided not to pit during a virtual safety car, saying that at least one of them should have come in. Mercedes went on to win that race. After another difficult strategic afternoon in Austria, it's easy to imagine that the post-race discussions inside Ferrari were serious as the team reviewed where valuable opportunities had slipped away. The pressure inside Ferrari keeps growing. Hamilton joined the team because he believed Maranello had what it takes to fight for an 8th world championship. Instead, he's finding himself in races where strategy decisions have often become the biggest talking point. Adding to the drama, Mercedes, the team Hamilton spent more than a decade with, has repeatedly come out on top in key strategic moments. That's a tough twist for a driver who spent years being part of one of Formula One's strongest race operations. There's a striking contrast in how the race unfolded. Hamilton once watched Mercedes outmaneuver rivals from the front of the field, but now he's on the other side, trying to recover from strategy calls that haven't produced the results Ferrari hoped for. That contrast made the Austrian Grand Prix even more frustrating as another opportunity slipped away. Hamilton wasn't the only Ferrari driver to endure a difficult afternoon. Charles Leclerc's race turned into a major setback as well. Starting from second on the grid, he looked set to fight near the front after a tough run that included retirements in Monaco and Barcelona. Ferrari fans were dreaming of a strong result, but Leclerc eventually crossed the line in 8th. According to Total Motorsport's live coverage, he struggled throughout the race on the hard tire compound, with the Ferrari unable to bring the harder rubber up to temperature, leaving him vulnerable to rivals running fresher medium tires. Oscar Piastri and Lewis Hamilton both found a way past Charles Leclerc with clean overtakes as the race unfolded. Verstappen, who has started from 5th on the grid, also moved ahead on his charge toward a podium finish. During one of the battles, Piastri and Leclerc made contact. The damage appeared to be minor, but it was enough to affect Leclerc's floor and upset the car's aerodynamic balance. That forced Ferrari to bring him in for another set of tires, adding even more frustration to an already difficult afternoon. After the extra stop, Leclerc rejoined the race in 8th and remained there until the checkered flag. It marked another disappointing result after retirements in Monaco and Barcelona, making it 3 challenging race weekends in a row. Against that backdrop, Jacques Villeneuve's comments suggesting Ferrari should concentrate more of its efforts on Hamilton have continued to attract attention and spark debate among Formula One fans. The championship picture is also becoming more significant. Hamilton now holds a clear advantage over Leclerc in the driver's standings, and the gap has grown over recent races. While there's still a long season ahead, the momentum has shifted strongly in Hamilton's favor. Looking beyond Ferrari, another trend stands out as well. Mercedes has now won 7 of the first 8 races of the 2026 Formula 1 season, underlining just how dominant the team has been. George Russell's victory, combined with Kimi Antonelli's third-place finish, gave Mercedes another massive weekend. The result strengthened the team's grip on the Constructors' Championship, and the gap to the chasing teams keeps growing with every race. Russell also made important progress in the Drivers' Championship. After arriving in Austria 50 points behind Antonelli, he left the weekend just 40 points back, cutting the deficit by 10 points in a single event. That has added even more excitement to Mercedes' title fight. Instead of one driver pulling away, the battle at the front is becoming much more competitive, with both Russell and Antonelli firmly in the championship conversation. If this trend continues, Mercedes could have 2 drivers pushing each other all the way through the season. For Ferrari, the numbers tell a much tougher story. Hamilton arrived in Austria about 41 points behind Antonelli in the standings. Antonelli collected 15 points with his third-place finish, while Hamilton earned 10 points for finishing 5th. As a result, the championship gap grew instead of shrinking. Ferrari had hoped Hamilton's victory in Barcelona would kickstart a strong run of results, but Austria highlighted how costly strategy decisions can be when Mercedes is also performing at such a high level. The reliability issues that affected Mercedes in Barcelona, including Antonelli's battery problem, also appeared to be under control this weekend, making Ferrari's task even more difficult. Both Mercedes cars reached the finish in Austria, and that could be a huge turning point in the 2026 championship. Reliable results have been one of the few things slowing Mercedes down at times this season. But if those issues are truly behind them, the battle for both titles could quickly swing even further in their favor. If Mercedes keeps delivering clean weekends over the next few races, Ferrari will have an even bigger challenge on its hands. Now all eyes turn to the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. It's Hamilton's home race, the track where he has created some of the greatest moments of his incredible Formula 1 career. It could also be the perfect place for him to chase his first Ferrari pole position and another victory in red. But before the lights go out at Silverstone, Ferrari faces some serious questions that can't be ignored. Will the team rethink its race strategy after another frustrating weekend? Will it react faster when key opportunities appear? And will Hamilton's experience play a bigger role in those crucial race day decisions? These are the questions everyone will be watching, as Ferrari tries to stop this pattern from repeating itself. If nothing changes, Silverstone could tell a familiar story. Hamilton may once again have the pace to fight near the front, only for strategy to become the deciding factor. Meanwhile, George Russell continues building momentum in the championship, making Ferrari's job even harder with every passing race. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other Formula 1 fans. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Did Ferrari cost Hamilton a podium in Austria, or was the result unavoidable? Let me know below.